We're diving into one of our biggest challenges yet. The frame's getting a major overhaul, the chassis is slowly but surely coming together, and the body's getting stripped down to the bare bones. But we're not just building a car, we're laying the foundation for something legendary. Let's get wrenching. Something I love doing and hate doing. Mainly hate doing because I'm one of those people, and I know so is my dad, where we write down a list on the daily on like old envelopes or scratch paper or napkins, you know, because we're just the kind of people that, you know, like to do it day up. But I have to make a list, like a real list that we get to look at and cross off, which at the end of the day, it is a really nice sense of accomplishment when you can cross these things off. We're going to start with body, and we're going to start with chassis. Mainly chassis though, because I really want to make sure that the chassis is the first thing done, like done, in this build. While he's doing all the prep work for the frame head, I'm ordering everything because as soon as we're done with the floor pans, I can start coating it, I can start assembling it. By the end of it all, it should be a fully rolling chassis.
So if you haven't figured out yet that the chassis for the 356 is completely rusted out, it's definitely needing some help here where the brake pedal is going to go. And so what I did was I fabbed up this plate, and we are going to transplant this into this area here, and it should solidify where we're going to mount the pedal assembly. So as you can see, I've welded some nuts on the back of this plate because they're going to be where we can't get to them and put a wrench on the other side. And this is kind of what I'm thinking of doing to bolt this chassis to the body. I want to insert nuts inside the frame where we can just bolt the chassis right to the body. Excuse me, the body to the chassis. Yeah. Loud noises.
Oh yeah. It's raining.
More Starkey products.
Nice.
Good.
While my dad continues to crank away at the prep work and modifications to the chassis, Alex and I are finishing up removing all the body parts, dash pieces, and wiring. I have been looking for an opportunity to do a custom wiring harness in one of our cars, and this turned out to be the perfect candidate. The wiring in this was, needless to say, absolute garbage. Everything to house wire, wire nuts, and electrically taped hand-twisted connections. This will be a nice clean slate for not only the harness designing later, but will enable us to properly coat and paint all of those nooks and crannies on this 356. While I'm under the dash messing around with that rat's nest, Alex is up front disconnecting the rag joint, and whammo! Steering shaft right to the face. I'm awake now. That is so satisfying. Just be careful, try not to rip it.
That's why I'm...
A lot of dirt. Nice.
That's your template.
Perfect template. So, was there anything here, or was it just the...
I think they're screw holes. Those are your snappers.
Okay, no, I was just curious about this, but this is where the post comes through.
Post. Yeah.
Gotcha! Cool, now we gotta clean that off and cut that trim out. And then we're pretty much bare-bodied.
Got the drill?
Yeah. It's extremely important that we remove all of the parts and pieces prior to bodyworking because there's rarely ever a guarantee that those replacement parts will actually match up with the same holes as the old ones. It would really suck if we made it all nice and pretty just to drill new holes into fresh paint. Some pretty generic trim. Okay. It's just sliced so it can bend.
Perfect.
There's nothing to it.
So there's a ton of prep work I gotta do in order to get this to fit where I want it to fit. So this whole edge right here that was welded on from the old chassis, it's gotta come completely off. So we're gonna grind that off. So this will sit flush, and then we can make all our cuts and make sure it fits perfect on here, and we can spot weld it in.
I just love when the whole team is working together on a build. Due to the sheer size of this car, it's kind of hard to have 3 people on one thing at one given time. So usually when one of us is on the body, another is on the chassis, and if those things are handled, we just pick up the slack wherever it's needed. For instance, me power washing the engine block. I hope you didn't forget that we had to build an engine for it too. We couldn't just plop that single port into this baby. What size engine do you think we're gonna build? A 2054, a 1776, a 1915, or just a Type 4?
gonna fit probably maybe a little further forward. Too far back, I think.
Give me that rubber mallet. There you go. Well, we're getting close here. I think I've got a few more measurements to do, but we're getting very close. I'm going to bolt that to the body, and we're going to bolt this back on the body, and we're going to try to custom build the frame rails down the sides to match the body, and then take it all back apart and weld it up. You scrubbing your baby?
Scrubbing it. Scrubbing it real good.
How many times is this?
Huh?
How many times have you washed it?
I think this will be like number 2 or number 3.
You want to blow all this stuff off first before you start scrubbing? Look, we got metal shades, shards and stuff over here.
Eh, you'll be alright. Just watch your eyes.
I see you getting a lot done today.
And the teardown continues. We let the body dry out overnight, and the next day back in the shop, the doors are the first thing to come off. Not only are they going to have to be painted separately, but removing them makes our life a million times easier when we're test fitting the chassis later. Once that's all complete, we are moving on to saying our final goodbyes to the stock components on that chassis. Someone left a comment on our previous video asking, why not just clean it, paint it, and put it back together? Well, to answer your question, we very well could, but with the exception of replacing some bushings and some other well-worn parts, we could 100% make that happen. But the reason why we're ditching it all is because we're lowering the chassis 2 inches. We are also awaiting a 2-inch narrowed beam for the front as well. Although the components to the suspension and whatnot are fundamentally the same, the dimensions change on everything all the way around. But just because we aren't using them for this project doesn't mean we can't save them and either pass them along or use them for something else.
Okay, I think we are ready to start assembling our new chassis that will be underneath this, but the way I'm going to be doing this is we're going to assemble the pieces like an erector set underneath this. So we're going to put the front, what do they call that?
Frame head?
Frame head. We're going to put that frame head on first. We're going to weld our nuts into place, right? The frame rails we have right here. I'm gonna show. Okay. And we're gonna piece this in, tack everything together so that when we unbolt it, we can unbolt it as a whole solid chassis and then weld everything up after the fact. Right. Right. So anyway, let's get this frame head on. You wanna help me?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You're sure you don't want to help me?
No, I'm not sure if I do want to help you.
Why?
But I do want to help you.
You need to help me. I can't do this by myself. Are you going to help me? By George, I've got to do some more clearancing, Clarence.
That side doesn't look too bad.
Technically what we want is these plates, which have the nuts for these bolts welded on them, instead of us going through the frame and putting nuts on down here like they did and filling it with goop. And God knows what else. There was foam, spiders, dirt, grime, everything down here. What we want to do is actually cap this off so nothing gets down inside the frame anymore. We'll cap this also. But by doing this with these plates, we're able to unbolt the frame that we're building and the drivetrain that we're building for this whole body, which is going to be awesome. So I'm excited. Excited to do something like this. Never done anything like this before. And you get to figure out how to fill this gap.
I think we can get some really thick rubber gasket, and I think it'll work, because the good thing about rubber gasket is it won't absorb any water, like all the foam and crap that they had in there before. I've just got to say this, and I probably will never stop saying this, but my dad is the literal best. He is the one who's encouraged me to turn a wrench, tackle any challenge head on, and never back down from a tough build. Whether we're resurrecting old steel or chasing dreams, he's always been in my corner. My dad isn't just my partner in the garage. He's my hero. Life's easy to take for granted, especially when I'm this blessed, but just remember to stop and appreciate the awesome people in your life from time to time.
Alex,
What?
can you hand the bulkhead to me?
Yeah,
It's kind of tight on the chassis. You just got to kind of lift it up and it'll pop off. The chain lift plug.
Close enough. You want it right here?
Yeah, that's fine. And then you come underneath that. Oh. So as you can see, these plates right here are 2x4, which should be, it's the same size as this. So we're going to be capping this. These nuts will go inside, but all I'm doing is test fitting, make sure everything lines up. You're going to tell me if yours lines up pretty good. If a little bit of overhang is there, it's okay because we can grind it off.
4x4. Mine's too far back.
Yeah, the 4x4's in the way. I mean,
Pretty good though.
just eyeballing this, it's not bad, but dadgummit. So that's gonna have to,
Get sheet out of the way.
well, what we'll do is we'll take the body off and put it on the lift, because when we put this on, and I want the chassis in so that I can build the frame rails custom. And so when we unbolt this thing, it's just gonna unbolt and the frame rails are gonna be there, and then we can build the floor pans. And it's not gonna be super narrow like a VW pan, and then just bolted through sheet metal is all it was. This is gonna be bolted straight to this 2x4 right here that runs through the frame rail. It's gonna be super strong, it's gonna be super stiff. I wouldn't doubt if the whole thing handles better after we're done with it. It's just gonna be like more like a race car.
It's a good thing we don't know how it handles anyways.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying,
It's gonna handle better than it did.
this is as thick as the frame rails in my race car. I mean, this is like having a tubular chassis in this.
So-
all this structure in here. I mean, I've never seen it like this in a kit car ever. So it's pretty
No.
awesome.
It makes a 917 look pretty puny, huh?
Yes.
I do have one question for you. What about those scary holes next to you?
These,
Yeah.
they're nothing.
What do you?
We can cap them, or
I was gonna say, we might as well just cap them, because
yeah.
I'm not really sure why they're there. But we're obviously not gonna run heat through it, and it's just one place for crap to get in. So
Yeah, we can just
Handicap
cap these
yourself.
very easy. It's no problem. I'm not sure why they did it. I think they might have been thinking they were going to be bolting to here or something. And then they said, wow, that sucks, drilling those holes or something. Who knows? And then gave up on it. That's how they should have done it. Or they did that and they realized that the VW pan wasn't as wide as it needed to be. So then they sheet metaled. That could have been, I mean, there's no telling.
Very
But we're doing it right. We're going to do it righter.
righter. What was it? Get it? What would you say earlier?
More right than they did.
No. You said something before. You're like, what was it? It was like,
I don't remember.
what was that catchphrase he came up with. It was like...
Wait, I know what it is. Chevellism.
All of this prep work, measuring, cutting, welding, and such is finally coming to fruition. The chassis design my dad laid out is taking shape quite literally. Alex is drilling holes for our threaded plates to recess into the existing frame. I'm welding the nuts onto those plates, and my dad, well, he's reading all the OSHA violations we've collected over the last few weeks.
Okay, next part of our erector set needs to go on is this piece right here needs to be bolted to our body, or the frame of our body right here. And then what we will do is that'll give us the correct measurement for this to be cut down a little bit more in order to fit inside here. And then once we get that cut down and this pushed up into here, we can tack weld those two together. And then we can start working on the frame rails that Alex has been drilling the holes to clear the nuts that will go up in to the frame rail, as you can see here. And then we will weld those plates all the way down the frame rail and have it'll be completely solid with inserted threads, and then we can just bolt the chassis to the body, bolt them together, and not have to worry about anything coming loose. Should be pretty sweet. Wow. That's a massive amount.
I think you need to go back another inch with the chassis.
Tell me when.
Keep going. Like right in that area.
You sure?
I'm gonna come down some more.
Well, you can't do much. Go ahead.
Ready?
Yep.
Front's just barely clearing.
Wow. Maybe I had it pretty close.
I mean, you're pretty damn close. You might clearance just a little bit, but I couldn't see this side.
That's looking really good. All right.
Want to set it all the way down?
Yeah, throw it down.
Oh, just slid.
It slid?
Like it centered itself.
This did?
Yeah, the body did. Slid sideways.
I wonder if we can get some bolts in there. Cause shoot, we wanted to cut that down at all.
That'd be awesome.
That would be really slick. We just hammer it down on there and it'd be done. You know?
You want to keep going down with the body?
I need some like 5/16 bolts or something like that we can at least get 2 bolts in each side.
Good God.
This thing's squeaking. What the heck?
I'm gonna sit over here for a minute and look at that.
Body's kind of like settling or something. Man, so close.
Need to trim the front slightly.
Yep, go ahead and go up with it. I'm gonna take like an 1/8 inch off the front of that. What?
That's
Mad scientist going on here.
mm-hmm.
Go ahead up. get this thing fitted.
Yeah.
Coming down.
Yep. I don't feel like I'm in any imminent danger or immediate danger. Maybe that's what I should say.
Smash
Imminently, yes, I am in danger of being squished, but immediately, no.
Probably should watch the frame head over there, bud.
Pretty slow.
How's your frame head looking behind you?
All right.
This is the correct way of doing it, right?
In my mind.
Wow, I think we're on something in the back.
In my mind.
We're on something in the back.
Bring her down, hell. Alright, you're looking good on my side. Alright, hold up.
Oh.
You're gonna have to come forward. A little. There you go. That's money. Bring it down slowly. You're pretty close
Come on.
to the money over here.
Hold on.
Did you find the bolts for these, Becker?
I've got a couple bolts here. I'm feeding down. Okay, that one's in.
Oh, I'm lining it off the pedestals.
And come on down. Go ahead.
You keep going down?
Yep.
Oh, and there you go.
Good?
It's beautiful.
Oh,
I've already got the nut threaded on for you because I'm a badass.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
So what I want to do is I want to put more pressure on the body. So I want you to stand on the frame rail there.
Yep.
Together with me. Just kind of. Okay. VW frame building 101.
That's the way to do it.
That's it. That's as settled as we're gonna get. And look how settled it is.
That's pretty good. I like it.
It's really good. So I can tack this here.
Uh-huh.
Just go run a bead right across here.
Uh-huh.
Come down here.
Yep.
Run a little bead here.
Get your bad attitude, twisted you, bad attitude. Don't you play that game? No one likes to lose.
Eyes.
Yep.
Three pieces make one.
Hey Caroline.
Don't you play that game? No one likes to lose.
Yeah.
It's just fun. I know how much that song aggravates her.
Yeah, we're
Caroline hits the gas. Whoa! Dude, we raised this one piece. Let's raise it up.
ready. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Getting heavier.
Finally, it won't take 2 hours to freaking drop.
Okay, we get lucky. A lot of this stuff will fit into place.
There's no luck involved, it's all planning.
What side is this driver? Okay.
Yep.
see.
Well, I gotta trim this some more. Because this is gonna go against, it's gonna be on the frame rail. We're gonna snip this off too, because the frame rail goes all the way back here. So this will be a kind of a gap, you know, but it's not gonna matter. We're gonna have that bolt hole there.
Cool.
I'll tack it in. You can weld it up. Long gone.
Okay. This build has so far been quite an interesting one, but really fun because it's very unique. You get to do something like this where you're just kind of winging it, but like you're designing everything from scratch. It's pretty fun. I don't know, I'm having a blast so far. I'm really excited that we get to do this in general, but also for such a special event. And I don't know, it's just, the creative juices are flowing. The project's getting more and more fun as we go about it, and now that we're doing the frame rails and everything, it's really starting to come together more so than, I don't know, I originally thought. This one's gonna go back together a lot better than it was originally assembled. The crazy thing about this is, this car, although they do make a ton of kits, and they did make a ton of kits like this was not a kit you could do in your garage. This was something you order from a factory. So it's hard to say how much of it came from the factory, how much of it got changed. We're kind of just chalking it up to the factory, but there is so much on this thing that was, I don't know. I'm not saying somebody in their garage couldn't do it, but it would definitely be quite a tussle to get it apart and redo it. But you know, when there's a will, there's a way, and we're working with pretty basic tools and kind of just a very simple mindset on how we're gonna approach it. And so far it's coming out pretty well. Oh gosh, that's good. If you're not a drinker, this root beer is amazing. If you're a drinker, vodka root beer. Come here, Alex.
What?
Do you want our Continental mug, or do you want an old marinara jar?
Marinara jar. Pasta, baby.
All right, let's go give the other one to James. A little liquid courage for you.
So we have a problem.
Which is?
We're out of the right material. I miscalculated on this 1/8" steel here. I only have enough to do one side here. We need to, maybe the hardware or Lowe's might have a piece of this, like in a 3-foot section.
Yeah.
We need to try to get that. 'Cause that's the
Okay.
only way that we're gonna be able to finish this and do this correctly. I mean, I could cut this in half, but then it would leave a gap, and
Yeah, no.
no.
Might as well just do it right
Yeah.
the first time.
Yeah, so all this will get welded in, and it'll be like one piece, you know, with the nuts inserted, and then we can just take all the bolts out, with the body back off.
We have almost a full chassis again in a Volkswagen state of mind.
Yeah, kinda. I mean,
It's solid, it's not going anywhere.
it's a bit unorthodox the way I did it, but it works, and now I know we can unbolt everything and bolt it right back up. So that's the reason I did it that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything we've done so far is just one step closer to having a finished chassis, so I think we killed it regardless of whether we can finish it right now or not.
Yeah.
And the good thing is at least you did the long sections first.
Yeah, so we've got the long sections in. I just need to do these shorties,
Yeah.
which I can do one side, but man, my shoulders need a break, and I'm beat. So
Yeah.
It's going to be really easy to do the floor pans though once we have all the box steel in place. It's
Yeah.
going to be awesome. I mean, I'm really excited to do this, you know, to do the work. VW/American /chassis for our German /speedster /kit car 356.
Caroline's custom kit car, all with K's.
All right, here we
You
go.
forgot that.
All right, calling it a night. Love you.
Is it a Volkswagen or is it a Porsche?
It's both.
Or is it a hot rod?
Oh!
Hot rod.
I'm so sorry.
As soon as the glove left, your face was black.
Was it really? No, you're not.
Yes, I am. I didn't mean to hit you in the face at all.